Hello, and welcome, my dear dreamer. Find a comfortable place now, perhaps lying down or resting in a cozy chair, feeling the gentle support beneath you. Allow your shoulders to melt, your jaw to soften, your eyelids to grow a little heavier. Take a slow, deep breath in and out. Feel the air, cool as it enters, warm as it leaves. Again, slowly in and out. With every breath, imagine you're stepping further away from the noise of the day, further into a world of hushed whispers and soft candlelight, a world where rain taps gently on an old thatched roof and herbs hang from wooden beams. You're safe here. You're warm, and you're welcome to drift wherever your mind wishes. Now, when you're ready, our story today begins. Our story today begins on a quiet, rainy evening in a small medieval village. The sun has long dipped beneath the rolling hills, leaving the sky a velvet blanket of deep blue. Tiny stars peep shyly from behind drifting clouds, as if they too want to listen to the rain. In the very heart of this village, there stands a small, round cottage. Its roof is woven with thick, golden thatch, glistening from the rain. A little wisp of smoke curls up from the chimney, like a sleepy sigh rising into the night. Inside this cottage lives our gentle herbalist. Her name is Evelyn. Evelina has hair as soft as silken flax, tied loosely behind her head. She wears a linen gown, simple and warm, dyed in muted shades of moss and lavender. Her hands are gentle and wise, marked by years of tending to leaves, roots, and blossoms. Tonight, as the rain falls in a steady, comforting rhythm, Evelina sits beside her wooden work table. A single beeswax candle flickers, casting slow-moving shadows on the low stone walls. The scent of burning honeycomb mingles with the earthy perfume of rosemary and sage. She listens. Tap, tap, tap. The rain is like 1,000 tiny drummers playing a lullaby just for her. And for you. She closes her eyes for a moment, letting the soft sound fill her whole being. Breathing in deeply, she inhales the fragrant herbs laid out before her. Sage, said to guard the spirit. Rosemary, a friend of memory and dreams. Lavender bundles, hanging above, promising restful sleep to those who wander too far in their thoughts. Evelina picks up a small clay bowl filled with freshly gathered rainwater. In medieval times, healers believed rainwater was a gift from the sky, pure and touched by moonlight's blessing. Tonight's rain feels especially sacred, like a whispered promise from the stars themselves. She dips her fingers into the cool, silvery water. Let us imagine that sensation now. Cool droplets sliding across warm, tired skin, the water shimmering in the candle's golden glow. With her other hand, she crumbles dried sage leaves, watching them fall softly like tiny green feathers into the bowl. The scent grows stronger, more calming. She stirs slowly, clockwise, whispering an old rhyme she learned from her grandmother. Rain from the sky, cleanse and renew. Herbs of the earth, guard what is true. By leaf and by moon, by root and by dew. Bring rest to the heart, and dreams gentle too. As she chants, her voice is low and melodic, weaving through the sound of rain like a soft river current. Imagine yourself listening, nestled on a soft cushion or wrapped in a woolen blanket, your eyes fluttering closed, your breath matching the hush of the night. Outside, the rain trickles down the mossy stones of the cottage walls. You can almost hear the garden beyond, a secret world of damp earth, moon-pale flowers, and shy snails peeking from their shells. Evelina's garden is her sanctuary. In medieval times, every plant was thought to carry a spirit, a small guardian watching over the healer's hands. She knows each plant by heart. The mint that soothes an aching belly, the marjoram that lifts a heavy heart, the valerian root that calls the deepest sleep. Tonight, she will prepare small sachets, tucking herbs and rainwater-blessed threads inside. Each sachet, a tiny pillow of safety and rest, to be placed beneath a weary traveler's head. Imagine her nimble fingers tying the sachets with thin, flaxen twine, the little knots soft and careful, like tying up a secret or a soft wish. She hums as she works, a sound older than the walls that hold her, older even than the rain that taps above. The candle flickers once, twice, its light dancing on bundles of lavender swaying gently from the rafters. Their perfume drifts through the room, curling around you like a slow-moving river of violet mist. It invites you to relax, to drift further and further inward. Evelina glances to the small window, where raindrops slide down the glass like silver pearls. Beyond, she can just see the gentle glow of lanterns in the distant village square. Perhaps a baker is putting out his last loaves for the night. Perhaps a cat curls near a hearth, purring in a puddle of warmth. Here in her room, there is only the soft, patient sound of rain, the steady warmth of the candle, the rustle of herbs, whispering their secrets to the night. She dips her brush in the rainwater and writes a tiny rune on each symbol. These symbols are not meant to be read, but felt, a swirl to protect the dreamer, a curve to guide the spirit. In the Middle Ages, such runes were believed to shield the sleeper from restless spirits and wandering thoughts. As she finishes each sachet, she places it in a small wicker basket beside her chair. The basket smells of thyme and cedar, comforting and earthy. Evelina pauses often, her eyes closing, her breath soft, as if she too is swaying toward sleep with each gentle movement. The rain continues its lullaby, tapping its delicate fingers against the window. Your own breath matches this rhythm now, slow, peaceful. If you listen closely, you might hear the faint crackle of a hearth somewhere in the cottage, a low purr of orange warmth. Perhaps you feel it now, a gentle warmth rising from the base of your spine, spreading outward to your shoulders, to your arms, to your fingertips. You are safe here, in this tiny circle of candlelight and herb. Your worries can rest, like heavy cloaks slipped from tired shoulders. Outside, the rain will guard you, washing away any leftover noise from the day. Evelina moves to the shelf, reaching for a bundle of dried chamomile. She crushes a few delicate blossoms between her fingers, their golden centers releasing a sleepy sweetness. As she sprinkles the petals into the final sachet, her lips form a faint smile. She knows tomorrow will bring new visitors, new stories, new small aches and hopes. But for tonight, only this moment matters, a hush woven from sage, rainwater, and moonlight. Evelina finishes her last sachet, setting it carefully in the wicker basket beside the others. She stands, stretching her arms overhead, her joints making quiet, comforting creaks. Outside, the rain hums steadily, like a soft drumbeat guiding her steps. She moves to a small wooden cabinet, its doors carved with curling ivy patterns. Inside are tiny glass bottles each, one containing a different oil or tincture. Some hold golden drops of calendula, others the deep green of nettle, or the pale moonlight hue of elderflower. Evelina selects a small vial of lavender oil. She uncorks it, and a sweet, floral breath seems to float out and greet her, as though it has been waiting patiently all day. She tips a single, shimmering drop into her palm, rubbing it slowly between her hands. She brings her hands to her face, inhaling deeply. You can imagine this, too. The warmth of your own palms against your cheeks, the gentle scent wrapping around your thoughts like a soft shawl. She moves to the hearth now. A quiet fire burns there, its embers glowing like sleepy eyes, half-lidded and kind. She kneels, adding a small log of apple wood, which cracks and hisses softly as it catches the flame. Sparks dance upward in tiny golden arcs, vanishing into the chimney above. Evelina settles onto a low stool near the hearth, her basket beside her. She rests her hands on her knees and gazes into the fire, the flickering light painting her face in gentle strokes of amber and shadow. The fire's warmth seeps into her bones, and she closes her eyes for a moment. Outside, the wind picks up slightly, brushing the herb garden with long, sweeping sighs. You might imagine the way those leaves sway. The rosemary shivering delicate, the lavender nodding its heavy, fragrant heads, each plant bending and rising again, like dancers in a slow, secret waltz. Avelina listens to the sounds: rain on the roof, wind in the herbs, the hush of the fire. She feels the pulse of the earth beneath her feet, a steady, ancient heartbeat that matches your own slow, peaceful breathing now. She thinks of the villagers she will visit tomorrow. There's old Tomas, who needs a sachet to help ease the ache in his shoulders after long days at the loom. Young Lena, who fears thunder and cannot sleep without the scent of sweet marjoram near her pillow. The baker's wife, who dreams too vividly and needs rosemary to keep her wandering mind gentle and calm. Avelina's work is quiet, almost invisible to most, yet it weaves unseen threads through the lives of all who know her. She is a keeper of dreams, a guardian of soft nights and hushed dawns. And tonight, in the dim glow of the fire and candle, she offers this same soft protection to you. Perhaps now, you feel your body growing heavier, the muscles in your legs and arms sinking down as if into a warm, mossy bed. Your breath becomes so easy, so slow, it feels like a lullaby in motion. Avelina stands once more, moving to a small window where she keeps a clay water jug. She pours herself a cup of rainwater, watching the silvery stream catch the candlelight, breaking into tiny droplets that sparkle and disappear. She sips slowly, each swallow a quiet blessing. Medieval herbalists believed rainwater gathered on certain nights carried the wisdom of the stars. Tonight's rain feels just like that. Filled with hidden songs and gentle secrets, she glances outside again. The village square is now empty. Lanterns bob softly in doorways, their flames trembling in the gentle breeze. You can almost hear the creak of wooden shutters closing, the final murmur of a dog curling onto straw, the last sigh of the wind moving through the eaves. Avelina sets her empty cup down and walks back to her work table, smoothing her gown as she goes. She gathers her finished sachets, wrapping them carefully in linen cloth, each bundle tied with pale twine. She stacks them neatly in a small wicker carrier, ready for tomorrow's deliveries. Each sachet holds a little piece of tonight's rain, a thread of moonlight, and a breath of lavender warmth. She looks around her cottage, satisfied and at peace. The herbs hang in their bunches, whispering together in soft, green voices. The fire hums its low, red song. The rain continues to play its gentle music on the roof. Avelina picks up a small wooden flute from the shelf, a simple instrument carved by her grandfather many years ago. She raises it to her lips and begins to play a slow, winding tune. The notes curl around the room like drifting smoke, gentle and curious. Some notes rise softly, like candle flames reaching upward. Others fall gently, like a single petal dropping onto still water. You might hear this melody now in your own mind, a faint, airy sound that weaves between your thoughts, guiding them like a soft hand leading you deeper into a dream. As she plays, Avelina's eyes grow heavy. She is swaying slightly, her gown brushing the wooden floor in slow arcs. The melody grows even softer, until it is barely more than a sigh. Finally, she lowers the flute and rests it on the table beside her. She moves to a small sleeping alcove, where a straw mattress waits, covered with linen sheets and a thick woolen blanket. She pulls the blanket back, slips beneath it, and sighs deeply. You can imagine the feel of warm, heavy blankets now, cradling your shoulders, wrapping around your tired body. Avelina closes her eyes. Outside, the rain continues, its tender tapping. The wind combs gently through the herbs, sharing its moonlit secrets. The hearth gives one last, low crackle, a sleepy purr. Avelina's breathing slows, matching yours. In and out, in and out. She dreams of misty gardens, of moonlit gatherings beneath silver stars, of herbs that glow faintly in the night, like little lanterns guiding her deeper into the quiet. And as she drifts, so do you, each breath taking you further down, into softness, into warmth, into a night where nothing can disturb you. Avelina's dreams begin like mist curling through an ancient forest. She sees tall oaks rising into a silver sky, their leaves shimmering like moonlit lace. A narrow path Ones between them, lined with small, glowing herbs, each leaf glimmering as if lit from within. She walks barefoot, feeling the soft moss under her feet, a cool, tickling comfort. Each step releases a delicate scent, lavender here, a hint of thyme there, maybe a tiny whisper of wild mint. A small owl watches from a branch above, its wide eyes blinking slowly, calmly. The owl hoots once, a sound that seems to echo across the night like a soft bell, calling her deeper into this dream grove. Evelina pauses to listen. In medieval folklore, owls were seen as wise watchers, guardians of hidden knowledge. Their calls were thought to reveal secrets of the soul and lead wanderers to safe resting places. Tonight, the owl is her guide, and perhaps yours too. She follows the owl's gaze, stepping further into the forest. Somewhere nearby, a tiny stream gurgles, its surface catching slivers of starlight. The water trickles over smooth stones, making the softest lullaby. A gentle burbling sound, like a baby sighing in its sleep. You can imagine it now. That cool water on your fingertips, smooth stones pressing into your palm, the quiet hush of moving water inviting you to let go. Evelina kneels by the stream, scooping up a handful of water. It runs through her fingers like moonbeams, leaving behind a tingling coolness. She dips her face closer, breathing in the freshness, feeling her mind grow light, airy, as if her thoughts were floating away on tiny silver boats down the stream. Above, the stars seem to draw nearer. One star in particular twinkles brightly, pulsing like a heartbeat. She stands, following its shimmer deeper into the woods. Each step feels easier now, as if the earth itself is holding her gently, guiding her forward. She reaches a small clearing, where a circle of mushrooms glows with a soft, pearly light. In medieval times, such rings were called fairy circles, believed to be portals to the realm of fire spirits and moonlit gatherings. It was said that stepping into one could whisk you away into an endless night of music and gentle laughter. Evelina smiles, stepping carefully into the circle. As her foot touches the moss inside the ring, she feels a gentle warmth rise through her legs, into her belly, chest, and finally, her heart. Her breathing deepens. Her eyelids flutter as if listening to a secret song only the forest knows. She hears faint music now. A harp's slow, silken pluck. A lute's soft, humming strum. Tiny bells chiming like dewdrops falling into a quiet pond. The air is thick with the scent of wildflowers and honey. You might smell it too. A sweetness that wraps around your thoughts, softening the edges of any worry left behind. Your breath matches the music, each exhale a soft ripple across a still moonlit lake. A figure appears across the circle. A woman clothed in a gown, woven from ivy and star petals. Her hair flows like a stream of midnight, shimmering with soft flecks of silver. She nods to Evelina, beckoning her closer with a graceful, slow motion. This is the spirit of the forest, an old friend to all who tend herbs and guard dreams. She offers Evelina a tiny cup carved from birch wood, filled with a silvery nectar that seems to glow from within. Evelina takes the cup in her hands, feeling its gentle warmth pulse against her palms. She lifts it to her lips, sipping slowly. The taste is cool, sweet, and strangely familiar, like rainwater, honey, and soft chamomile. All at once, a warmth blossoms in her chest, drifting out into her arms, legs, fingertips. She feels as though she is dissolving into the forest itself, becoming one with the moss, the trees, the gentle midnight breeze. The spirit reaches out, brushing Evelina's forehead with a single finger. A shiver runs down her spine, not of fear, but of release, as if a final knot has loosened within her. The spirit whispers words in an ancient tongue. The sounds are soft, flowing like water over smooth stones, each syllable inviting you deeper into softness. Rest in moon's gentle cradle. Let the rain cleanse your mind. Dream in roots and starlight. Return renewed, beloved child of earth. As these words echo in Evelina's mind, She feels her body grow weightless. Her feet leave the moss. Her arms drift outward as if floating on a slow-moving stream. She closes her eyes, surrendering to this deep, ancient comfort. You might feel this too. A gentle lifting, as though your own body is drifting upward, carried by a warm, silvery current. All heaviness slides away, as though melting into a pool of moonlight at your feet. Your thoughts hush, becoming small and distant, like lanterns bobbing far down a quiet river. Evelina floats upward, surrounded by soft, pale lights, tiny fireflies, each one carrying a small wish or secret dream. They brush her cheeks and shoulders, leaving behind trails of cool sparkle. You might imagine them gliding across your own skin now, each light a gentle blessing, easing every small ache or tightness. As she rises, the forest slowly transforms below her. The mushrooms glow brighter. The trees seem to bow in a soft farewell. The owl hoots once more, a low, final call to the deep night. She feels an endless peace flow through her, as if every leaf and raindrop were singing her to sleep. Finally, she is back in her cottage now, lying beneath her woolen blanket, the fire glowing softly at her feet. Outside, the rain has softened to a delicate drizzle, almost like a soft whisper against a roof. The herbs above her sway slightly, releasing one last wave of calming perfume. She sighs deeply. Her chest rises and falls in slow, even waves. Her hands rest softly over her heart, her lips curved into a quiet, content smile. Your own breathing matches hers now, in and out and out. Outside the window, the moon peeks through thinning clouds, casting a silver glow across the garden paths. Snails sleep beneath their shells. Tiny mice curl into nests of dry leaves. The rosemary and lavender rests in the moon's soft gaze. The world is hushed, safe, and waiting for dawn to arrive gently, like a mother lifting a sleeping child. Tonight, there is no rush, no sound of busy footsteps or heavy doors, only the soft hush of rain, the sweet breath of herbs, and the glow of a single candle flickering kindly by Evelina's side. Your thoughts may drift now. Perhaps you see your own little garden, or a mossy glen hidden behind a veil of mist. Perhaps you hear distant chimes, or feel a gentle hand resting on your forehead, soothing you deeper and deeper. With each breath, you can feel yourself slipping into that quiet inner forest, a place where you can rest beneath tall oaks, bathe your feet in starlit streams, and listen to the old songs that float like feathers in the midnight breeze. You are free here, you are safe, and you are so very loved. Evelina's breathing has become so soft, so gentle, that it is barely a whisper against the hush of the rain. Her mind drifts between waking and dreaming, weaving visions as delicate as spider silk under morning dew. In this twilight space, she imagines herself standing again at the edge of the forest. But now, the path before her glows faintly, like a trail of scattered pearls leading her onward. The air hums with the scent of sweet marjoram and crushed pine, each inhalation guiding her further inward, deeper into the forest's hidden heart. She walks slowly, her bare feet sinking into the moss, which feels like a soft blanket freshly laid across a warm bed. Around her, tiny lantern beetles drift lazily, their lights bobbing like distant stars brought close to earth. A gentle mist curls around her ankles, cool and silvery, inviting her to move forward without hurry. Ahead, she sees a small stone archway, almost swallowed by ivy and creeping jasmine. It is said that in medieval monasteries, gardeners believed jasmine held moonlight in its blossoms, and that ivy could protect the spirit during journeys of the mind. Tonight, the arch feels like a passageway to a dream beyond dreams. She steps through, and a quiet meadow opens up before her. The grass shimmers with dew, each blade catching starlight and trembling like a tiny harp string touched by an unseen hand. A small pond rests at the meadow center, so still it reflects the entire sky. Stars and moon trembling together on its surface. Evelina approaches the pond and kneels at its edge. She leans over, gazing into its mirror-like depths. Instead of her reflection, she sees scenes of her past. The first time she planted lavender, her small hands patting the earth with careful joy. The day she learned to weave healing wreaths for sick children in the village. Nights spent grinding herbs beneath moonlight, the fragrance rising around her like a protective mist. The images fade, replaced by gentle ripples moving across the water. Evelina dips her fingers in, feeling the cool, silken texture wrap around her skin, as if the pond itself were alive and breathing with her. You might imagine this sensation now. The smoothness of moonlit water brushing your fingers, the soft hush of ripples spreading outward like concentric circles of calm. She closes her eyes and lowers both hands into the pond fully. A quiet warmth radiates up her arms, melting tension in her shoulders and chest. A subtle pulse moves through her, as if the pond's stillness is traveling into her own heart, steadying it with each gentle beat. Above her, the moon begins to sink lower in the sky, its light deepening into a richer silver, like molten metal cooling under starlight. A light breeze stirs the meadow, lifting strands of her hair and carrying the scent of violets and rain-washed grass. In medieval times, violets were believed to ease the spirit and inspire gentle dreams, their petals pressed into pillows for those troubled by restless thoughts. Tonight, you can imagine that sweet, tender scent drifting around you too, settling your mind, inviting it to grow soft and pliant, like a petal unfolding at dawn. Evelina opens her eyes, smiling at the pond one last time before she stands. She looks up, seeing fireflies now gathering in slow spirals above the water, their glow painting tiny constellations in the air. Some drift down to her, perching lightly on her fingers, her hair, her shoulders. Each tiny light feels like a gentle word of comfort, an ancient blessing whispered directly into her skin. She moves back through the archway, each step feeling lighter, her spirit humming in quiet harmony with the forest. The ivy gently brushes her arms as she passes, leaving a cool, tickling touch behind. A final blessing from the gatekeeper plants. She feels an immense gratitude rise within her, a soft tide swelling and falling, leaving her even more serene. As she nears the edge of the forest, she sees her cottage waiting, candlelight glowing softly in the window, like a single golden eye guiding her home. The thatched roof glistens under the last few drops of rain, each droplet catching starlight and winking like tiny gems. A small cat waits on the doorstep, its fur dark and glossy, its eyes half closed with sleepy contentment. In medieval villages, cats were often companions to healers, seen as watchers of spirits and silent protectors against dark dreams. Tonight, this little cat curls its tail around her ankles, purring a sound so low and velvety it feels like a warm, invisible shawl settling across her shoulders. Evelina leans down to scratch behind its ears, feeling the deep rumble of its purr vibrate through her fingertips. She whispers to it softly, words that sound like gentle drops of rain on a quiet pond. Then, together, they step inside. The cottage is filled with a hush that seems alive. The herbs above still sway gently, releasing little sighs of rosemary and mint into the air. The hearth glows warmly, a small flame flickering in its cradle of coals, like a heartbeat echoing through the night. Evelina hangs her damp cloak on a wooden peg, smoothing the fabric carefully with her hands. She picks up her basket of sachets and sets them near the hearth, each one now infused with the night's quiet magic. She lights another small candle, its flame dancing slowly, as if bowing in greeting. The glow spreads across the room, touching each jar and bundle, painting soft halos on the walls. She moves to a small writing desk in the corner, taking out a piece of rough parchment and a quill. Tonight, she feels called to write down the forest's whispers, the pond's songs, the secrets carried by the jasmine arch. Her quill scratches gently across the page, a soft, rhythmic sound that matches the hush of your breathing now. In medieval times, herbalists often kept moonlight journals, special books where they recorded dreams, plant visions, and messages from the spirit world. Evelina's words glow faintly under the candlelight, each letter like a small spell of calm and protection. She pauses now and then, closing her eyes to listen, to the last sigh of the rain, to the cat's deepening purr, to your own slow, steady breath. Her heart feels full, her mind on. Each word she writes is like a gentle step further into a dream, each line a soft breeze, carrying her deeper into restful peace. When she finishes, she sets the quill down and folds the parchment carefully. She ties it with a sprig of lavender and a strand of twine, placing it in a small wooden box near her bed. She knows that tomorrow she might share these words with a villager needing comfort, or tuck them into a sachet to protect a dreaming child. At last, Evelina moves to her sleeping alcove again. She sits on the edge of her straw mattress, the wool blanket folded neatly at her side. She leans forward, elbows on her knees, and takes one final, deep breath of the room. She feels the herbs above her like a guardian canopy, the hearth as a steady, glowing friend, the cat as a velvet moon curled beside her feet. She smiles, her eyelids heavy. She pulls the blanket up and over her shoulders, tucking it close to her chin. Outside, the forest seems to lean closer, its branches a soft embrace against the walls. The moon sends its last silver kisses across the roof, a final lullaby for her journey into sleep. Evelina's eyes close fully now, her lashes resting like quiet shadows on her cheeks. The last threads of waking thought drift away, like thin clouds, dissolving into a moonlit sky. Inside her mind, a soft tapestry begins to unfurl, a dream woven from forest whispers, the pulse of rain, and the shimmer of starlight on leaves. Tonight, her dream carries her to an ancient walled garden, hidden behind the monastery, beyond the village. In medieval times, monks tended these gardens as places of both healing and meditation, each plant chosen not just for its medicine, but for its spiritual symbolism. The monks believed that tending to the plants tended also to the soul. You might imagine stepping into this garden yourself now. The heavy wooden door creaks open softly, revealing rows of green life, glowing faintly in the moon's embrace. Evelina steps barefoot onto the damp earth, feeling its coolness rise into her feet, up her legs, until her whole body feels rooted in calm. Rows of sage ripple under the gentle breeze, each leaf holding tiny droplets of dew that glint like scattered pearls. Beyond them, neat squares of lavender sway like violet ocean waves, releasing a slow, sweet perfume that drifts around her shoulders and settles across her chest. In one corner, a small fountain gurgles, the water slipping over smooth stone edges, a quiet sound that wraps around her heart like a lullaby. She kneels beside it, cupping the cool water into her palms, then letting it trickle back down again. The sound is soft and rhythmic, each drip echoing into the night, like the tick of a distant clock, reminding her to slow, slow. Behind her, tall hedges of rosemary form a protective green wall, heavy with scent. In medieval lore, rosemary symbolized remembrance and protection. Tonight, these hedges feel like gentle guardians standing watch, keeping the world's worries at bay. Evelina leans into the rosemary, breathing in its sharp, earthy fragrance, feeling her mind clear and cool. She imagines each breath sweeping through her thoughts like a small broom, gathering any stray concerns and carrying them far, far away. She feels lighter with every exhale, softer with every inhale. A soft, rustling sound calls her attention. She turns and sees a small wooden table at the garden's center. The petals release a tender scent, a mix of honey sweetness and faint, grassy warmth. But for the spirit, pressing them gently against her cheeks, marigold and violet, all shimmering slightly in the moonlight, bathed in a pale glow, delicate softness, brushing your skin, sending little shivers of calm all the way to your fingertips. Slow heartbeat, the echoes in the roots of every plant and stone. On it sits a shallow wooden bowl filled with petals. It was a common practice in medieval healing to make floral infusions, not just for the body, purring in a slow, rolling rhythm, like a tide washing in and out on a hidden shore. Evelina dips her hands into the bowl, her lips parting just slightly, as if to speak a secret only the moon can hear. Feeling the cool, The flicker of candlelight against her walls, the warm crackle of the hearth. Silky petals slip between her fingers, each one a tiny whisper of comfort, hovering between the comfort of her bed and the dream-soaked hush of this midnight garden. As she moves her fingers through them, she scoops some of the petals into her palms and brings them to her face. You might feel this now, too. A cool, swirling through the lavender. Others tangle gently in her hair, each touch as light as a butterfly's kiss, stirring the rosemary and carrying small petals up into the air. Evelina closes her eyes, sinking deeper into the garden's hush. She feels as if she is slowly dissolving into the scents and sounds around her. Her breath matches the pulse of the earth below her. A gentle breeze rises again. Some of them drift past her cheeks. She smiles softly. She thinks of her little cottage. She imagines her cat curled at her feet. Her spirit floats there now. Evelina slowly rises from the bowl of petals and steps toward a low stone bench nestled under an arched trellis of blooming white roses. She sits carefully, her back resting against a cool stone, her hands folded over her heart. Above her, the roses sway in the breeze, releasing faint sighs of scent into the night. In medieval symbolism, white roses were thought to represent pure love and spiritual surrender, perfect companions for the final descent into sleep. She tilts her head back, letting her gaze wander into the tangle of moonlit blossoms. Tiny motes of pollen drift down like silent snow, sparkling briefly before they vanish into the air. You can almost feel them now, settling onto your skin, cooling your forehead, easing your eyelids downward. Evelina takes one last deep breath, her chest rising and falling in slow waves. She imagines each inhale filling her with silver moonlight, each exhale releasing her into the embrace of the night. She feels no boundaries now. Her skin, the roses, the breeze, the stars, all blend into one great soft ocean of being. Her heart quiets into a gentle, steady thrum. A final thought drifts through her mind. Gratitude, soft as a feather on a pond. At last, her head bows forward slightly, her chin resting on her chest. Her breathing becomes so slow, so light, that she seems almost weightless. In the garden's hush, she appears to glow faintly, as though she has become part of the moon's light, a single petal floating into a boundless dream sky. And here, in this moment, you too can let go. Imagine yourself on that same stone bench, roses above you, petals drifting down, moonlight bathing your skin in silvery warmth. Feel your breath deepen, each exhale softer, each inhale sweeter. Notice your hands soften, your neck loosen, your jaw unhooked from any tension. Let your thoughts wander like fireflies, drifting off beyond the garden walls. There is no hurry, no destination, only this soft, endless unfolding. Evelina's spirit now glides beyond the garden, past the rosemary hedges and the rose trellis, into a quiet orchard nestled at the edge of the monastery grounds. The orchard's bathed in the blue glow of a midnight sky, each fruit hanging heavy and glistening with dew. Soft mist curls around the trunks, and tiny moths flit between the branches, their wings catching moonlight like shards of pale glass. She walks slowly between the trees, fingertips grazing rough bark and cool, plump fruit. In medieval times, orchards were places of deep contemplation, where monks would wander barefoot, reciting gentle prayers to the rhythm of their steps. It was believed that certain fruits, especially apples, carried secrets of healing and dreams, each bite a key to deeper inner worlds. Evelina pauses beneath an old pear tree, its branches twisted and ancient, as if holding centuries of whispered secrets. She reaches up and plucks a pear, feeling its smooth, firm skin under her thumb. She brings it close to her face, breathing in its sweet, almost floral aroma, a scent so soft it feels like a hidden doorway into another realm. She takes a small, careful bite. Juice runs down her chin, cool and bright, pooling into the hollow of her collarbone. Before trickling away, she laughs softly, a sound so delicate it could be mistaken for the night wind stirring the leaves. The orchard seems to respond, a gentle ripple of leaves shivering across every branch. In this moment, Evelina feels her entire body lighten, as if each cell is turning into a tiny lantern, softly glowing from within. She closes her eyes, leaning against the tree trunk, and lets the sensation wash over her, like a warm summer rain. As you imagine standing in this orchard now, feel the soft soil under your feet, the cool dew clinging to your toes. Notice the distant hush of the forest beyond, the owl calls echoing like gentle bells in the night. Breathe in the orchard air, sweet, wet, and alive, and let it cleanse any leftover tension from your mind. Evelina opens her eyes and sees a small wooden bench at the orchard's edge, half hidden by wild foxglove and bluebells. The hem of her nightgown trailing through damp grass, each step softer than a whisper. A crescent moon curves like a silver cradle, holding the sky in a soft embrace. She walks toward it, her back straight, but relaxed. Stargazing was believed to bring one closer to the divine order. The slow, weaving through the orchard like a gossamer thread, deliberate dance of the cosmos mirrored the rhythms of the heart. Her hands resting gently in her lap, she sits, a quiet, almost unformed tune, thick and luminous, like milk poured across dark stone. Above her, you feel yourself sinking deeper into a gentle, weightless pool of warmth and calm. She tilts her head back to watch the stars, tracing slow, safe, and deeply held, in a place beyond any hurry or worry, and she nods as if to say, "You are ready, ready to drift wherever your dreams wish to carry you." Drifting patterns as if reading an ancient map meant only for dreamers. Each star feels like a small guardian flame, twinkling down with a kind, watchful eye. In medieval lore, tonight, the orchard slowly transforms around her. She begins to hum. It rises and falls with the breeze. You might hear it now, too. A soft, wordless lullaby that wraps around you like a velvet cloak. Into each leaf, each petal, with every note, as Evelina hums, the trees seem to lean closer, their branches forming an archway above her bench, rising and falling with each of her slow inhalations, as timeless as the tide, as if sheltering her from any stray thoughts or waking noises. Moonlight pools at her feet. The ground breathes beneath her, carrying soft echoes of distant stars and the sigh of the earth itself. She imagines her breath flowing through the orchard, out to the farthest branches. Then it returns to her. This endless loop of giving and receiving feels as gentle as a cradle sway. Your head grows heavy, your heart slow to match the orchard's quiet pulse. Now imagine yourself sitting beside her on the bench. Feel your shoulders relax. The gentle hum lulls your thoughts into a shimmering mist. You are here. Evelina opens her eyes again, glancing at you with a soft, knowing smile. She sees the softness in your breath, the heavy glow in your eyelids. She leans forward, plucks a single foxglove blossom, and hands it to you. It's bell-shaped. Petals feel cool and silky in your palm. In the old days, foxglove was called witch's glove, believed to guard against dark spirits and guide gentle sleep. Tonight, it serves as a final key, a soft invitation to step fully into the dream realm waiting just beyond your lashes. She stands slowly, her nightgown shimmering as though woven from moonlight itself. She walks back between the orchard rows, each step fading softly until her figure melts into the dark, silver mist. You watch as she disappears, her humming lingering like a last sweet sigh in the air. Now, all that remains is the hush of the orchard, the slow breath of the earth, and the weightless pull of sleep beckoning you home. You feel your entire body soften, sinking deeper into your mattress or wherever you rest. Your fingers unclench, your jaw loosens, your belly releases. A soft, silvery darkness washes over you, sweeping you gently toward the final gate of dreams. In medieval belief, dreams were seen as messages, secret letters from the stars, meant to heal, guide, and soothe. Tonight, Perhaps your dreams will carry the scent of rosemary, the glow of foxglove petals, the sweetness of pear juice on your lips. Perhaps they will unfold into hidden meadows or shimmering moonlit streams. There is no need to shape them. Simply allow them to bloom as quietly and beautifully as roses beneath a midnight sky. The orchard slowly begins to fade from your awareness, like mist dissolving under the first rays of dawn. In its place, a gentle forest path emerges. This path is lined with ancient oaks and ash trees, their branches interlaced high above, forming a living cathedral of leaves. Moonlight filters through in thin, shimmering beams that dapple the soft, mossy floor. Evelina reappears in this new space, not as a solid figure now, but as a soft glow, moving slowly ahead of you on the trail. She turns every so often, her face lit by the pale hush of starlight, and she smiles. She wants you to follow, step by slow step, deeper into the gentle hush of this moonlit forest. You place one bare foot onto the moss. It is cool and springy beneath you, a soft cradle that receives each step with quiet acceptance. With each gentle press, the forest floor seems to exhale, releasing a sweet, earthy scent of pine needles and old rain. You feel a subtle tingling rise through your ankles and into your calves, as if the ground is sharing its calm, ancient energy with your body. As you walk, you hear a distant gurgling. Evelina guides you toward the sound, past ivy-draped trunks and clusters of ferns that sway as though sighing in their sleep. Eventually, you arrive at a small forest spring, its waters glimmering like a pool of liquid moonlight. In medieval times, forest springs were believed to be places where fairies gathered, weaving blessings and gentle dreams into the water. Travelers who drank from such springs often spoke of vivid visions and deep healing. Evelina kneels at the edge of the spring, dipping her fingers into the water. Tiny ripples spread outward, catching starlight and tossing it into gentle, shifting patterns across the moss. She cups some of the cool water and offers it to you. When you imagine tasting it, it feels crisp and slightly sweet, as though it carries the essence of every flower and leaf in the forest. As it flows into you, a wave of warmth and softness follows, filling your chest and flowing out through every limb. Evelina gestures for you to sit beside her on a smooth stone that rests by the spring. You lower yourself slowly, feeling each vertebrae lengthen and release, your shoulders softening like warm wax. The water's song continues beside you, a slow, crystalline melody that seems to echo your own heartbeat. You close your eyes, and Evelina begins to hum again, a low, lilting tune that rises and falls like a distant tide. The melody winds around you, brushing away any last bits of tension clinging to your thoughts. Her hum merges with a gentle gurgle of the spring, the sigh of the trees, and the soft rustling of tiny night creatures in the underbrush. With each passing moment, your awareness of your physical body softens. Your toes feel as though they are melting into the moss, like branches draped in morning dew. Your arms grow heavy and sweet. Your mind becomes an open field, and all that remains is the hush of the forest and the soft pulse of the spring. Tender nod, a gesture that carries both farewell and deep blessing. Her figure shimmering more faintly now, as though she is becoming part of the moonlight itself, free of fences or edges, simply drifting under a vast velvet sky. Evelina stops humming now. The lines between waking and dreaming vanish completely, gliding past blooming meadows and distant candlelit villages. No clocks ticking or doors closing, only endless unfolding softness, like petals opening and closing to the rhythm of your breath. Her glow dissolving among the trunks and stars, until all that is left is the echo of her warmth in your chest. She stands. She gives you one final, the glow of moonlight, each heartbeat, a soft lantern leading you home, and the hush of the medieval forest guard your dreams tonight. Then she turns and glides away, serene wave. Dear dreamer, sleep well, and drift far and out, weightless and serene, into the soft, endless embrace of sleep, held and deeply, deeply at rest. shimmering and inviting as you drift past them with ease and out, each cycle drawing you deeper into the gentle ocean of sleep. The moon's silver arc glows like a guardian lantern, casting soft beams that trace your cheeks and eyelids, as if tucking you in. You remain seated by the spring, feeling the earth's gentle embrace cradle you closer. Above, your breath is now a slow. In this medieval forestry, you might find yourself floating along a starlit stream, where each scroll and parchment whispers secret lullabies meant only for you. No need to hold on to anything, or perhaps wandering down moon-washed corridors of an ancient library. There are no boundaries here, now soft and slow, echoing the ancient rhythm of the earth beneath you. Feel your heart. Feel the last thoughts slip away, like feathers on a midnight breeze. You are safe. Allow the dream gates to open wide. Now, there is no need to hurry. Just let yourself float. May the blessings of the earth, may each breath be a quiet step deeper into rest. Good night. As you rest by the spring, your awareness begins to flicker, like a candle just before it goes out. The forest sounds stretch and blur, each ripple of water and sigh of leaves becoming a long, velvety hush. A soft breeze rolls across the moss, carrying the scent of night-blooming jasmine and old pine resin. In this moment, you feel as if you are no longer entirely in your body. Instead, you are a drifting star, a hush of light, floating between the tree canopy and the moon. You pass above dark meadows where deer sleep curled in the tall grass, and above quiet, thatched rooftops of a distant village, where every hearth has dimmed to embers. You float effortlessly, each breath a gentle push into deeper twilight. Below you, the villagers sleep soundly under wool blankets and linen sheets. In medieval times, it was common for people to sleep in two phases, a first sleep and a second sleep, with a waking interval between, a secret hour for dreams, prayers, or quiet reflection. Tonight, you are drifting beyond those phases, into a continuous, uninterrupted ocean of calm. Your mind becomes the night sky itself, stretching endlessly, each thought dissolving into stars. Now, imagine gliding into a small stone chapel at the edge of the village. Inside, candles flicker softly against rough-hewn walls, casting dancing shadows shaped like angels and deer. A single tapestry hangs above the altar, woven with silver and indigo threads that shimmer like distant galaxies. On a small wooden table rests an open book, a medieval herbal manuscript, its vellum pages illuminated with curling ivy and tiny painted foxes. You move closer and see delicate drawings of sage leaves, rosemary sprigs, and moon-shaped mushrooms. Each page smells faintly of lavender and pressed roses, carrying a quiet, ancient wisdom that seeps into your heart. You turn the pages slowly, fingertips brushing the warm, slightly rough texture of the parchment. As you read, you feel waves of gentle warmth ripple through your chest, each word like a soft hand smoothing your brow. In this timeless hush, every line feels like a lullaby, each herbal recipe a whispered blessing for deep, healing rest. Evelina's presence stirs one last time in this chapel, a final, luminous glow at your side. She lifts a small bundle of dried herbs, wrapped in linen, tied with a thin strand of moon-silver thread. She presses it into your palms, her fingers warm and soft as velvet. This bundle, she explains, with a silent nod, is meant to guide your dreams, to invite gentle visions of moonlit fields, warm candlelit halls, and soft rivers of stars. You clutch the bundle to your heart and feel its warmth radiate outward, wrapping every corner of your being in an invisible, silken cocoon. The hush of the chapel deepens now, turning into an endless velvet corridor that invites you deeper and deeper inward. You are so deeply loved. Evelina's final gaze is full of kindness, as if she's telling you, you are safe, you are ready. She fades once more, her glow merging into the shimmering threads of the tapestry above the altar. You close your eyes, feeling her warmth linger, like a gentle hand resting over your heart, each wave carrying you closer to the vast, peaceful dream sea. All sound drifts away. Only the slow moon-pulled tide of your breath remains. In and out, and out. Each wave softer, each wave slower, as you let go completely now. Imagine a final door in your mind. A tall, arched wooden door with ivy curling around its edges. You reach for the handle. Feel the cool, smooth iron beneath your fingers. You open it slowly, and beyond it, you see only an endless, soft, starlit meadow. Wildflowers sway under a silver sky. Fireflies drift lazily above, and a distant, sweet harp echoes through the quiet air. You step forward, and with each step, you feel lighter, softer, until you are no longer stepping at all. You are gliding, floating, merging completely into the dreamlight. There are no edges here, no boundaries between you and the stars. Old herbal wisdom and the gentle pulse of the earth itself. Just warmth, softness, endless, shimmering quiet. Nothing can disturb you but the gentle hum of distant starlight. This is your dream sanctuary now, to rest beneath shimmering oaks, to drift upon moonlit lakes, to be as light and weightless as a summer breeze. Silver rivers of peace, most soothing sleep, a space woven from moonlight, soft breath. Your mind floats far beyond words. You finally surrender completely. A quiet echo that repeats, "You are safe. You are home. You are loved." Sleep deeply now. Nothing can touch you here but kindness. You are free to wander among dream meadows with one last deep, every muscle melts. Sweet dreamer, wherever your waking path leads, your spirit drifts deeper into the Avelina's last blessing hovers around you. Good night. May your night be filled with stars, and slow, deeper and deeper, until the world is only a soft, moonlit sigh. May your heart wake tomorrow bathed in warmth and calm, and may you always carry this gentle hush within you. Sleep now.